What has been the ongoing kind of federal assistance for South Carolina?
It's been superb. We're getting assistance, and we're asking for everything we need.
They're doing a great job. There can always work harder. There's always kinks in the slinky. We're working them out behind the scenes.
And you see this rush of local officials, TEMA, FEMA, from the federal to the state to the local emergency management agencies, local county mayors with tears in their eyes out there serving their people.
We're grateful for the quick actions and close communications that we have had with the president and with the FEMA team.
We have been, Sean, I have to say, working well with FEMA. They, in fact, were moving very quickly over the last few days for us.
So to President Biden, thank you for coming. Thank you for paying attention to our needs. I think we've had good working relationship between the federal government.
So over here on Earth One, where up is up and down is down, all those were Republicans except one. Even Lindsey Graham, Trump's superfan, with nothing but the facts, and that is to praise the Biden administration's handling of Hurricane Helene and its response. But as we mentioned from Donald Trump over on Earth 2, comes a torrent of lies, and they are having an impact at a particularly crucial time. Hurricane Milton is set to hit Florida in less than 48 hours. Here's what Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg had to say about the disinformation coming from the right.
Well, it can have a real cost for people on the ground who are already dealing with so much. And, you know, it's right up there with making sure that people have access to transportation, making sure they get their power back on, making sure communications come back. Another part of that is making sure you can get good, accurate, and useful information. Unfortunately, that has become, in many ways, more difficult in the current digital information environment. And so it's become more important than ever to have trusted and reliable sources. We've worked to make sure that information that gets to users is good. For example, state 511 systems, and then for responders, we set up a routing assistance hotline, just so that if you're involved in an emergency operation, you could call and get our data about where a road might actually be open and available, or out of service where a bridge was taken out. But you look at what's going on online, a lot of it seems to be driven by politics, and that is actively harming and disrupting the process of getting back to normal for so many people whose lives were upended by this awful storm.
So for any of us who've wondered how low they'll go, we're starting to have an answer to that, and it's scary. There's a lot to talk about on the disinformation front, but we'll start with the facts and what's happening on the ground in the areas impacted by the coming storm with the Department of Defense Press Secretary Major General Patrick Ryder joining us live from the Pentagon. Just share with us what you would like people to know about the storm that is incoming. What assets are being deployed by the Pentagon?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much for having me, and thanks so much for putting a spotlight on this incoming storm and ensuring people have, timely, accurate information about what's about to transpire here. So we're obviously watching this storm very closely, working lockstep with FEMA, federal, state, local agencies to be prepared for when the storm makes landfall. From a Department of Defense standpoint, of course, we want to do that in coordination, synchronization with FEMA and other agencies that are leading the effort on this to make sure that we do it in a smart and concerted way. Capabilities that we are prepared to support include search and rescue, route clearance, transportation of important commodities like food and water, and of course, central to all of this, of course, is our National Guards, which support our states so well. So again, we're going to continue to just stay in very frequent ongoing communication as the storm gets closer, and keep all those in its path in our thoughts and prayers.
Major General, do you have any sort of, with sort of all the credibility of not just the federal government, but the Pentagon and the United States military, do you have any advice for where we tell people to get their information and what information should be trusted, since, as the Secretary of Transportation pointed out, there is so much disinformation readily available for people who may be making life and death decisions about whether or not to trust an evacuation warning, for example?
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, as you see in crises and contingencies around the world, getting accurate information is always a challenge, especially as communication nodes are impacted. And so in this particular case, as was highlighted, you've got FEMA, you've got federal, state, local agencies that are working very hard to make sure that we have the facts, that we're responding to the right places as quickly as possible. So I would encourage folks to go to those official sources, whether they be online or whether they be in the local communities. And as they look at information, you know, get multiple sources to make sure that you're getting the most accurate information. From a Department of Defense standpoint, of course, you know, we're going to continue to do all we can at all echelons to push information out, and that includes obviously engagements like this, you know, talking to the media, which plays such an important role in getting information quickly to the public.
And can you just, you know, for the record, tell us if there's anything that's been requested that hasn't been granted, if there's any offer that you've made that hasn't been received?
You know, I'm not aware of anything at this point that we haven't supported. Of course, you know, this is a very fluid situation. Right now, for example, in North Carolina, we've deployed upwards of 1,500 active duty soldiers to be on the ground to help with the delivery of food and water, route clearance, air transportation. On top of that, of course, you have the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which have set up 12 emergency operations centers throughout the areas impacted by Hurricane Helene, to include 3 of those in North Carolina itself. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you know, our National Guard, over 6,100 National Guard from 18 different states that are just doing phenomenal work across the board to help their communities. And I would just add again, you know, the important point here is that these are our fellow Americans, and we are going to be laser focused on doing everything we can to work with FEMA, federal, state, and local authorities to be integrated and to help where we can when we're asked.
Major General Pat Ryder, it's really it's a privilege to get to talk to you. It's such a busy time, I'm sure, for you and all your colleagues. Thank you for making time for us. We're grateful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just so important for the administration to have the people doing the work and the people in the community at a time when the disinformation is, you know, I think I asked this question in 2017. I said, I wrote it myself. The bottom was calling and it wants to know if we're there yet. How stupid was I? How stupid was I in 2017 to think?
You set it up in the tee-up, and how low can you go? And to not only exploit tragedy, but to turn it upside down and lie about it. You know, Nicole, I've asked you this before. What is the first thing we teach our children? We'll let you get away with anything, but you have to tell us the truth. Just tell us what you did. Just tell us the truth. And that half of this country, or 43% of this country, or 46% of the country, does not hold our president to a standard that we hold a 5-year-old to. And it is just the ones that don't know any better. Okay, you don't know any better. You're in your echo chamber. But the ones that hear the lies and go, he's crazy. This is like, how bankrupt are you? How morally bankrupt are you? And this election, you and I talked off camera, we're going to find out who we are.
We have to deal with Elon Musk, and I wish we didn't, because he's so silly. I really would rather not. But not Elon Musk, the silly, inexplicable visuals that the king of the manosphere, Donald Trump, thinks is helping him. Someone will have to explain that to me from deep inside the manosphere. But I want to understand what the business model is that rewards one of the most powerful humans on the planet, using his mighty, once great platform to destroy lives, to tear apart this country at a moment of genuine natural disaster crisis.
His irresponsibility is frankly astounding in light of the fact that he has a board of his company, in light of the fact that he is a contractor to the Department of Defense. Keep in mind, Elon Musk's company is now responsible for some of the satellites that are going into some of our most sensitive equipment. And he is doing this nonsense. And Nicole, Trump has eroded the trust in institutions so severely that even the most bizarre lies take root. Now let's look at some of the ones he's told about this disaster. This one's my favorite, that the federal government is blocking aid coming to the people in North Carolina, blocking it and seizing it for their own use. And this one's really a doozy. Don't claim any problem with your property because the federal government's going to seize your property. They're going to take your property. Now, on what planet do these people believe that the federal government has any interest in seizing their property? It is crazy. And Elon Musk is part of it. He is a partner in it. His platform is promoting it. Sinclair News, this is local news channels all over the country, are repeating Elon Musk's claims on X that the federal government, is blocking aid to affected communities.
It's insane. I mean, and I think the motives are pretty obvious. But that one is really broken through in the right-wing disinfo sphere. I had
and it's $750.
Yeah.
That's just to help you in the and anybody who's in hurricane country knows it's BS. Because they know you could apply for much more aid than $750 is just the check they cut right away. That you can get food and water and
gas
housing and gas. It is not all you get if you have been devastated by a hurricane.